And before we get out of here, I want to talk about what I meant by like not over optimizing if you don't have to. And what I mean by that is we can get into these cycles where we feel like we are actually making a big improvement on something financially, but it doesn't really move the needle as much as you think. An example that I would give is, I come across people who they try to flip CDs, right? Oh, I have this certificate of deposit that's offering me 3%, but then when that expires, I found one at this bank over here that offers 3.25%. They'll do the same thing with high yield savings accounts. They'll open 10 different accounts and they'll move their money from one to another based on an interest rate. And I try to get them to actually break down on a yearly basis what the difference is between one account and then another. And in those instances, I encourage them to actually break down the tangible impact of moving that account from one place to another on a yearly basis. For example, let's say that you have a high yield savings account that's offering you 4%. And you take your money out of that bank because you find one that offers 4.25%. Well, if you have $40,000 in that account, and many people who are doing this type of optimization don't even have that much in the account, on a yearly basis, that 0.25% means that you got an extra $100 in interest. That's it. For all the headache that comes with moving that level of money from one place to another to optimize 0.25%, you benefited yourself by an additional $100. Now, it's not that $100 is no money, but is it so much money that it's worth going through that process over and over again because you think that you're making strides financially? And the same is true with the rest of your finances when it comes to things like tariffs. It is very easy to look at what's going on in the news and feel worried about what's going to come financially. But if you're in the home that you plan to be in for the next few years, if you're in the car that you plan to be in for the next few years, if you're going to the grocery store, you don't feel like you're spending an arm and a leg already, then that extra 5 or 10% may not mean that much in terms of any steps that you have to take. You may be just fine. So I don't want you to worry about things when you already feel settled. But the one thing that I would take away is in times like this, there are a number of things, including tariffs, that to me speak to the importance during this period of making sure that you have ample cash reserves, that you've paid down consumer debt, and that you're contributing to your non-qualified investments that you can access before retirement age if necessary. So if there are tariffs, in light of the things that we've talked about with student loans, in light of the fact that interest rates for home prices have not really gone down as much as we would have liked, periods like this to me would say, if you're not feeling like you're well positioned, then we do need to make sure we have an increased focus on things like paying down our credit card debt, to make sure that we have 3 to 6 months in savings, to make sure that we're putting money into a non-qualified investment account so that if you're in a position where you need the funds, they're there. Or if we need to ride it out and stack cash until the situation has improved, that you're well positioned at that time to take advantage.